Let's talk Longhorn football with Vince Young, a college football Hall of Famer, who is 30-2 as the Texas starting quarterback, 31-19 as an NFL quarterback. I was saying this last week when I knew you were going to be on the show Monday. I said, you were the greatest high school football player I've ever seen.
I appreciate it.
It doesn't even look, I said, it looks like taking a very good NFL player and putting him in a good high school league. So you were, and then you took Texas to that win over Michigan in the Rose Bowl. You come back the following year. We actually have high school video. It doesn't even look like you're a high schooler. But what's interesting, I want to talk about your college career. I was at the USC-Texas game. Reggie Bush, that is the greatest atmosphere and the greatest game I've ever seen. I sat among Texas fans,
right,
and they were so excited because USC was rolling at that point.
Yes, they was on fire.
Of all the games you've ever played, high school, college, and pro, where does that USC Natty rank? That's
definitely top 5 for sure. Because of, like what you just said, you got guys like Reggie Bush, Matt Leinart. I mean, the names go on.
Roger Clemens on the sideline.
Roger Clemens. I mean, we had a good time. Ronnie Locke. I was happy to meet him.
Yeah.
And Pete Carroll, which I'm a big fan of, players coach. And like you said, I hate to see that he was gone out the NFL, which he should be still coaching. But it was just tremendous from start to finish, even when we was going to the Disneyland. It was fun just being out in this atmosphere. But those guys were the best team. And we wanted to play them. And if you notice what I said last year, the year before when we played Michigan, I was like, we'll be back.
Yep.
And we went to work that whole summer, and we got prepared to try to get to that national championship.
By the way, the Michigan game was wild as well.
Tough game, too.
It was crazy. That's what the beginning, when the Rose Bowl sort of broke away from tradition.
Right.
And you had Texas playing in a Rose Bowl, and I was like, I'm good with it. I'm good with it.
Granddaddy of them all.
Yeah, it is special. So we talk about this with Texas. I think college football has only two or three what I would call glamour programs.
Yeah.
USC and Texas, top of the list. Notre Dame still viewed academically. Miami, I always felt, had a little bit of a glamour to it, big city.
Oh, yeah.
Texas football doesn't feel like Norman, Oklahoma. Mm-hmm. It doesn't feel like Ann Arbor.
Right.
It's big city. When you were in college and you were a star, did it compare to some of your NFL days? Because you played in a smaller NFL city. It just feels like almost a pro team.
Oh yeah. That's why you notice that Oakland, they was trying to come to Texas for San Antonio, between San Antonio and Austin, but it didn't happen because nobody can compete with the University of Texas. So, when I was there, it was tough, but thank God I had guys like Chris Sims there to kind of follow him, his day-to-day routines, how to carry yourself as a quarterback on campus, going to classes, these type of things, how to be a quarterback at the University of Texas, which is not easy. But at the same time, I had fun. I learned a lot, and I do a lot of respect to Coach Brown for redshirting me to see that, traveling with the team on the away games and stuff like that, holding a clipboard, writing down the plays. I mean, all that type of thing, those things made me more mature as a young man.
These days, it's very hard to get somebody that's as good as you in high school. It would be virtually impossible to ask him to back up.
It was hard.
Oh, I know, because you were the most dominant Texas high school football player probably ever. Do you worry that the transfer portal, kids now, quarterbacks, they want to play or they'll just transfer, and you had to sit for a year and grow up, and it was hard. We're not going to see a lot of that. Does that worry at all?
Yeah, in a way. I think it's not good because the world doesn't go like that. You can't just tell people that you want to just leave up and like that. Even in a 5 or 9 job, you can't. You got to still put in 2-week notice before you leave. So that's going to be a mentally challenge for all younger players. Especially at the quarterback position. I feel like what Archie Manning is doing right now.
It's great.
It's great for him. The NFL is not going nowhere, and for you to just sit back and get ahead in your books. Learn the plays, learn the game, learn the way how to travel, how to be a leader, learn these things, which he has like the best people in the world to teach him that, from Peyton to Eli and his father, and as well as myself, talking to him every day when I'm around campus. So I feel like what he's doing right now is going to have him really prepared to play when it's his time.
So Sark brought you in as a special assistant. And first of all, what do you do at Texas?
Well, I'm an athletic assistant at AD. Yeah. So I just basically, help with recruiting, raising money for funds and things like that.
Yeah.
Just being visible
Sure.
on campus, being a big brother for the younger guys, and going to speak to the different classes and things like that. Just being an ambassador for the university. So it's been real fun. Earl Campbell can't do it as much as he could like
Sure.
he used to. So learning from him throughout the years and doing some things to help make sure our university is still on the map in the right way.
So I said, J-Mac loves Quinn Ewers, and I've said, I don't doubt the talent. He's a little loose to me. He can be a little loose. And so much when you get into these big games, this is not the Big 12 anymore. You can't make those mistakes in the SEC. The defenses are better. The games will be closer.
Yes.
I mean,
definitely.
Texas basically shows up outside of Oklahoma. You have better players than everybody. Well, now it's LSU. Now it's Georgia. Now it's
Correct.
Bama. You can't make those big picks in the SEC.
Yes.
Do you think Quinn Ewers can maintain his talent? That he's got a whip.
Oh yeah.
But do you think he's matured?
Yes, I think he has. I think that's one of the biggest things that myself as well as Coach Stark has seen throughout this summer to now. His maturity level it's took to a whole nother level, as well as his leadership role. And that's pretty good for him because he's more as a veteran. He has more game reps underneath his belt.
Yeah.
So just to see him become a leader, I think he can be more voiceable, to speak more
More
a little
verbally,
bit. Yeah, a little bit more. But overall, his talent, the smartness of the game, the IQ of the game is starting to take off. So I'm looking forward to a good year for him. The main thing is like what you just said. He got to understand every week is going to be a tough game. And also, this is going to be your first year in the SEC. So what legacy you want to leave that team this year got to be. So
I've been a fan of Sark forever. He had some personal struggles. He got over those. He's a tremendous coach. He's a great recruiter. I think he fits Texas. Because I've always thought Texas is the only kind of Big 12 school. It feels a little Pac-12. It's kind of cool.
Right.
Like a lot of college towns aren't cool. Austin feels like kind of a cool town. It's got a little
Austin-
west. I know for
Austin
years
is
the
fun.
Pac-12 wanted to bring Texas in, and Texas said no thanks. When you look at Sark and you know Sark, what does he do best? What do you really like about his coaching style?
Well, you just hit the note. He's been through everything from personal things that he had in his life, as well as coaching things, as well at USC. Then he also was with Nick Saban underneath the brand as well. So he's seen a lot. So the way he's building out the school is exactly what UT is bonding, caring about each other, taking care of your responsibility, treating you like a young man. So to see that chemistry is picking up, the team is going to play better. Because when we was playing there, Coach Brown was big on that. Chemistry, protect each other, go to class, do what you have to do, your responsibilities. And to see that now, Coach Stark has brought that back into our school. And now you see we're starting to get into that rhythm, back to winning, being at the playoffs this year. Tough loss,
Yeah.
But, the chemistry to get there, now we have that identity that we know who we are. Now we know when we go out there on this football field what we need to do to get back to the playoffs.
Is it harder? Like if you're some of these college towns, I'll be honest, are boring. Is it? And I've said this about USC. It's a distracting city.
Oh, yeah, it's tough.
Is it harder in Austin? This town doesn't go to bed at 7:45.
Yes.
Is it harder sometimes to be more focused as an athlete? It's beautiful people. It's a music scene.
Right.
Great food in Austin. It's like the truck scene, the food truck scene.
Food,
like
yes.
It's up till midnight every night. It's not your typical college town. Same with Miami. Same with USC. I've seen these programs get distracted.
Right.
Is that still an issue with Sark? Do you have to preach that a lot?
Yeah, that's going to fall back on Quinn. That's Quinn and the rest of the leaders on the football team. If you can't stay your butt at home and what's more important than graduating and winning a national championship, then you do need to transfer and get in the transfer portal, because that's not the type of players that we're producing at the University of Texas. We want to know that I can depend on my man on my right and my man on my left. And that's the main thing. So I hope Quinn, and I know Coach is saying it, the coaching staff is saying it, so it has to go down to the leaders. And that was one of the things that we did when we was there. We had guys like Michael Huff. We had Rod Wright.
Yep.
We had all the leaders.
Bo, the tight end.
Bo Scaife. We had leaders trickling everything that Mac Brown was telling us as leaders to make sure we tell it to our team. So Quinn and the rest of his guys as leaders got to be like, man, if you can't understand what's the bigger picture than what we're doing because you need to go out and party, then you don't need to be here. And that's for him to go tell his coach Stark that this guy needs to be off our team because he's a distraction. So.
If you go back, and I've talked to Michael Vick, I've talked to all sorts of players about this. I mean, you had a winning record. Obviously, you got to the playoffs in your NFL career. Now that you have perspective, you were young, you were a star, you got paid, and if you look back at your NFL career and said, hey, I could just change one thing, and again, hindsight's 20/20. We're all geniuses.
Right.
But if you could change anything in your NFL career, because it wasn't that you weren't productive, that wasn't it, what would it be?
One thing, probably just a little bit more working harder, a little harder, staying a little bit longer, things like that. Understanding you're a professional, that this organization invested a lot of money into you. And making sure I have my foundation right, off the field foundation things, right, so you can focus on playing the game. So those type of things I say. So when I speak to kids now, like, make sure you got the right people in your corner that's don't want nothing from you but to see you prosper and be successful.
Right.
Make sure you have those people around you. So I tell people that I'll change that for myself.
So if you run into Matt Leinart in the hallway, he works here at Fox, what are your conversations like?
What up, big guy? How's the golf game?
He doesn't want to talk the game.
No, he gets enough of that already. But
when you were in that game, did you realize how great of a game it was, even as a player? Did you understand? Remember the stealth bomber flew over for the anthem?
Exactly. Even the national anthem
was huge.
She sung her butt off.
Reggie Bush, the weird lateral.
Yes.
When you were in a game like that, had you ever been in a game that you knew, oh, this is a classic, this is going to be one of the great games ever talked about? Did you sense it during the game?
Well, I sensed it at the Heisman, actually. I was pretty upset that I lost that Heisman, but going up to the game, the hype of it, it was something I'd never seen before. So even I was nervous. I was a little scared.
Were you?
Walking into this game, what do I need to do to make the Longhorns successful? So, a lot of praying, a lot of extra work, a lot of extra film work with Coach Greg Davis. I took it to the next level because I didn't want to embarrass not only us as a university, but myself. So it was a big game, and I was definitely afraid.
It's an all-timer. And, that I can remember sitting in the Texas section and I love the Texas fans. They weren't obnoxious. I think we all realized in that game, everybody sitting there realized, oh, this is special.
Yeah.
It was a perfectly beautiful night. And what was great, it was a gorgeous night. Yes. And the Texas and USC colors, as the sun went down, it was like the whole stadium was like burnt orange and gold and cardinal. It was just stunning.
Yes.
A beautiful, beautiful night.
Wonderful moment.
Okay, so now you start looking at that Texas schedule. There's a Georgia game, if I recall.
Yes.
Okay, let's say Texas makes the playoff, and Texas wins a game in the playoff, but they don't win a second game. How's that going to land in Texas?
It's not going to sit well. We're going to still be happy. We're, just to be a team to get back going. Like, it's been a while since we've been doing the things that we've been doing. So as a fan and as a alumni, we're excited with the direction that we're going in. So the main thing is, did we learn from off last year, from that game playing against Washington in that game? Did we learn from that? And I know the players, that was a sick feeling for them.
Yeah.
Because you was a field goal and a couple points away from winning that game. So the main thing is how your mentality is right now. That's why I said I feel like Quinn has matured a little bit because of that game.
Sure.
So now he understands it's no more turning back. We have to continue to be the face of this new 12 team playoff. We have to finish, and I feel like they can do it with the coaching staff as well as the players that we have. I feel like they can do it. It's all about the mindset, what we were just talking about.
Vince Young, an all-time great, NFL Offensive Rookie of the Year, 31-19 in the NFL, and one of the faces of the great Texas Longhorns program, well-run top to bottom. Great to meet you. Great to see you. Oh, by the way, if you're in Austin, 16 years running, I've been to it a couple times. Great, best steakhouse in Austin.
Thank you.
It's
Vince Young Steakhouse.
It's really good.
So yeah, if you come into that Georgia game, you better reserve it now.
That's going to be the game. That Oregon plays Ohio State in Eugene. and Georgia, Texas, mark it down, are the 2 college football games of note.
Oh,
and there's going to be a lot of good ones, but those are great.
Yeah, that's going to be a big one, especially in the Michigan game, too, is going to be another one we got.
Great seeing you.
So that's going to help their identity.
Yep.
Those
are identity-changing games.
Exactly.
Texas got to win those big games.
It's great to see you.
Good to see you.
Hi, everybody. It's me, Uncle Colin. Subscribe here to get the latest from the herd, including exclusive behind-the-scenes videos and more, wherever you may be, however you may be watching. Thanks again for making us part of your day.